everyone. Before jumping into this week's story, I'd like to give you a little bit of background. You see, this story that we're going to tell you today is one giant metaphor. You guys remember what a metaphor is? It's a way of giving a subtle meaning kind of beneath the surface for what the rest of the story is actually presenting. And you see, this story, as we just said before, is a giant one, but it also has several other metaphors sprinkled throughout. So it could have different meanings that you could interpret from it. But today, we're just going to focus on one of those meanings. But if you hear something else from the story, that's totally fine. Anyways, let's jump into it. Today's story is another parable from Jesus. Jesus was out in Judea, just across the Jordan River, teaching to those who had gathered. And he said to them, wait, why am I going to say the words when Jesus is right here, the man of the hour? For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner looking to hire workers to tend to his vineyard.
Hello, my friends. I call upon you because you don't seem to have anything to do at all. I need to hire some workers to come tend to my vineyard. I will pay you a fair wage for the day, I promise.
Ooh, I'll do it. That really does sound great. So the ones that were hired went to go work in the field for the landowner. A field kind of like this. So Jesus continued. About 9 in the morning, he went out into the marketplace and saw others standing there doing nothing. So he said to them,
You also will go work in my vineyard, and I will pay you whatever is right.
Oh, me, please. Sign me up. That sounds like a great deal.
So those that were hired left the town center to go work in the fields. But the landowner wasn't finished yet. He went out again around noon, and then at 3 p.m. and found others standing around. So he asked them to come join. And then he did the same thing at 5 p.m. and still found more people waiting in the marketplace doing nothing. So he said to them,
Why have you been standing here all day doing nothing?
No one's hired us. We'll gladly go to work if you got something for us to do.
You also come work in my vineyard, and I will pay you what is fair.
And when evening came, the owner of the vineyard said to his foreman,
Foreman, call upon the workers and pay them their wages. Begin with the last ones hired and proceed to the first.
The workers who were hired just right around 5 p.m. came and each received a denarius. What is a denarius, you ask? Well, a denarius is a coin that was essentially worth about a day's pay for a laborer back in the day. And so those that were hired in the late afternoon and only did a small amount of work still received a full day's pay. That's going to help make the next part of the story make a whole lot more sense. Anyways, back to it.
This is amazing. Thank you so much.
So when those who were hired first came to receive their payment, they expected to receive more. But they too each received a denarius.
Hey now, those guys, they've only been here for like an hour.
Yeah, and you made them equal to us, the guys who bore the weight of the burden and the heat all day. This is totally and completely unfair.
How dare you?
But the landowner answered one of them.
I am not being unfair to you. Did you not agree to work for the pay of a denarius? Take it and go. So what? I want to pay the one who was hired last the same as you. Do I not have the right to do what I want with my own money? Or are you jealous because I'm generous?
So the last will be first, and the first will be last. This story, it's a great one. And as we told you at the beginning, there's lots of different meanings that you can pull from it. But here's one that we hope that you got from today's telling. Don't worry about what others are getting. You see, some of you are going to get called to work at the first opportunity.
Feels good to really earn your money from a full day of manual labor.
This is like God calling you and you went and began to work. And God still needs you and loves you the same. But some of you aren't going to get called to work at the very first opportunity. Some of you will work a little bit later. Maybe you were sick, maybe you were taking care of someone else, but you're still called upon and you go to work.
I know I came later, but man, This thing's hard to work with.
This is like God calling you, and you went and began to go to work. And God still loves you and needs you the same. But others of you will not be able to work at first, and you'll be called upon a little later. Maybe you simply weren't available to work into the last moment. Maybe you were just standing and waiting in the wrong place. Either way, God still needs you and loves you the same. You see, God loves us all the same. God's grace is for all of us. It's not about how much work you put in to earn God's grace. Working harder doesn't earn you more grace. It's not how it works. God's grace is equal for all of us. And maybe if we treat others with that same message, maybe we can get a little further. Maybe we can get to where we want to be. And as always, I want to jump right into the next story. I love doing this. But don't have to wait till next time. Until then, be kind, do good, and love your neighbors. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, I know I'm kind of late to the party here today, but what am I supposed to do with this again? I've really just been acting like I'm doing work for the last hour. I've done nothing, just kind of poking the ground. Is this some kind of special grape stick? It's not.
Sorry, man. Some of us actually have real tools.
Yeah, you just keep poking the ground there, worker 3. Go again.
All right, cut. Yeah, that's great, guys. Perfect take.
Vineyard boy.